And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Folks, I remember when I first got One Night Werewolf, and I thought, is this going to work? And it worked pretty well. And then Ted Osbach upgraded it to One Night Ultimate Werewolf, and it was a blast. In fact, one of my daughters, Holly, it has become her favorite game. Well, now we have One Night Ultimate Werewolf Daybreak, which is an expansion and standalone sequel to the game. Now, I'm going to be taking a look at it today as an expansion because it is a standalone game, although I don't recommend that you get it as a standalone game unless, there's no reason you should get this one first, because this one has more solid rolls, it's just a lot easier. If you use this one, there's a lot more special abilities and a lot of things going on. I think this works best as an expansion, but you can play it standalone. But anyhow, let's take a look at it and see what it adds to the game. The first thing I want to do is talk about the app. The app was updated to add the new characters, and I have all the new characters here that are added. But it also has a lot of cool things. There's different kinds of narration. You can have male, which is the esteemed Eric Summer from the Dice Tower, or female or gender specific, or female Daybreak, which is Ashley Birch, known for her role in Tiny Tina and Borderlands and many other things. I actually like gender specific because it will have different voices back and forth. You can also pick all different sorts of backgrounds. So you can pick, in my opinion, I like wolves or dramatic, but you can pick crickets or upbeat. And there's also a roll timer. Now we're going to make the roll timer 15 seconds, but normally I want it much shorter than that, but this is just so I can show you the new rolls. And then there's other things that you can add here. And then you pick your rolls and you're going to start. Now, as I said, I'm going to be going through this as if you already know how to play the game. So we're going to talk about the new rolls that are in the game.
Everyone, close your eyes.
Oh man, that does make...
Sentinel, wake up. You may place a shield token on any player's card except your own.
Now these shield tokens, when you put a shield token on a card, that card cannot be moved or flipped over or anything. So the Sentinel can basically protect a card. There's actually 2 Sentinel tokens in the game in case you're playing with the Doppelganger, but the Sentinel is a pretty cool addition.
Eyes. Werewolves, except for the Dream Wolf. Wake up and look for other werewolves. Dream Wolf, stick out your thumb.
So the Dream Wolf...
There's only one werewolf. You may look at a card from the center.
Okay, so the Dream Wolf basically is going to just stick out his thumb. He doesn't know who the other wolves are, but they know who he or she is, which is a really interesting addition to the game. Makes the werewolves a little less powerful, but I actually like using the Dream Wolf for that reason.
Put your thumb away.
And that just makes me laugh every time that's said.
Alpha Wolf, wake up and exchange the center werewolf card with any other player's card.
There's always going to be one werewolf card in the middle of the table. If you're playing with just this expansion, you're supposed to use the Dream Wolf. And the Alpha Wolf can basically turn someone else into a werewolf. Or he can take a current werewolf and make them still another werewolf. Very interesting, very powerful character. I don't know how often I would want to use him.
Mystic Wolf, wake up. You may look at another player's card.
Alright, so the Mystic Wolf is basically the same thing as the Seer, but they're also a wolf. A good addition, but again makes the wolves much more powerful, and I recommend only using the Mystic Wolf in larger player games because of that. But I do like
Mystic
the artwork.
Wolf, close your eyes. Apprentice Seer, wake up. You may look at one of the center cards.
The Apprentice Seer is not as good as the Seer. Of course, that's why they're the Apprentice. The Seer can look at someone else's cards. The Apprentice Seer can simply look at a card in the middle of the table. That's okay. I mean, it gives you some knowledge, and you might know that someone is not a role if they claim to be that role.
Apprentice Seer, close your eyes.
Paranormal Investigator, wake up. You may look at up to 2 cards of other players. If you see a werewolf or a tanner, you can no longer look at any cards, and you become a werewolf or a tanner.
Now, this is a very dangerous person because you can look at someone else's cards, but you might turn into a werewolf. But then again, you might want to turn into a werewolf. So it's kind of interesting. This is one, again, I would not recommend in small player games to play this with bigger game groups, so it doesn't matter as much.
Close your eyes.
Witch, wake up. You may look at one of the center cards. If you do, you must exchange that card with any player's card.
This is a solid character that can be used in the game, and because you can look at a center card and switch it, and then you know who one person in the game is. You also know one, well, that's pretty much it, and then you kind of mess that person up because they thought they were something that they no longer are. A good character.
Close your eyes.
Village Idiot, wake up. You may move everyone's card except your own to the left or to the right.
This is one character that I actually do not like in this set because moving everyone's card, for one thing, that's too much chaos. Secondly, it's a pain to do without people hearing you because you're moving a lot of cards. And it's just messy, I feel. So unless people are like begging, and I do like the name of this guy, the Village Idiot is one I often don't use.
Village Idiot, close your eyes. Revealer, wake up. You may turn any other player's card face up. If the card you reveal is a werewolf or a tanner, turn it back over face down.
Easily my favorite new character in this set, if only because everyone likes to lie and say that they are the revealer, or they're telling the truth and you're not sure that they might be lying. I can't tell you how many games I played this where multiple people said they were the revealer.
Revealer, close your eyes. Curator, wake up. You may place an artifact token face down on any player's card.
Now the artifact tokens are all face down. I'm sorry, that's not an artifact token. There are different artifact tokens here like this. You put it on someone's card. If you wake up and there's an artifact token in your card, you look at it and it's going to be something else. Like this turns you into a tanner.
Curator.
There's one that turns you into a werewolf. There's one that does nothing. I'll explain more about them later.
And reach out and move your card around slightly.
Shake, 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 shake your card. All right. So anyway, there's also another character who we didn't talk about, the bodyguard. If the bodyguard is voted by for everyone to kill him, he flips his card over and says, not me, and whoever has the second most votes, that person dies.
Everyone, wake up.
And then you have time to vote. And that's pretty much it. Let me talk a little bit more about the curator. The curator has different things, like this one here is a villager, so you're a villager, even if you were the werewolf. There's one, the Shroud of Shame. When you get this, you need to turn your chair around. You can't look at other people. The only time you turn your chair around is when it's actually time to vote. Or the Mask of Muting, which means you can no longer talk. And so people don't know what you have. It's not revealed until the end of the round. And so those are the new roles. Everything mixes nicely into the regular game. And like I said, they updated the app too so that works fine. Once again, I have to say that you need to play with the app. You really do. You can play without the app, but this app is one of the best apps ever designed for a board game, and it's one that just needs to be done. You don't need anyone to do it. It plays so well. This is a game that me and my family love playing together because I play with my oldest kids and my wife, or just some of the kids, and we can play 3 players, 4, 5, 6, and it's so much fun. We play over and over and over again and have a lot of great fun with it. I really like some of the new characters. The only character I actively dislike is the Village Idiot. But my favorite is the Revealer. Because I sit there and say, hey guys, I'm the Revealer. I turned over Melody's card. She is definitely the werewolf. Melody says, I'm the Revealer, and I turned over your card, and you're the werewolf. It's just like the Seer, but a little bit better. Or if someone's card is turned over, we say, hey, that person's innocent. That person's like, I knew I was innocent, unless, of course, their card was switched, in which case they're a little confused, or the person who switched their card is like, oh, I switched their card with this, so it can add a fun wrinkle, and then someone's like, well, I'm the Revealer, because if someone's card's turned over, you know that someone is the Revealer, and who is it? People are claiming that they're the Revealer. Entertaining as all get out. I also really like the Curator. Now, some people don't like the Curator because they think it adds too much randomness to the game. But what I love about the Curator is how you deal with your chip. You know the Shroud of Shame and the whatever Cudgel of Muting or whatever it is are in the game. So I could say, oh, let's turn mine over. I see I'm a werewolf. And I turn around. I have the Shroud of Shame. I don't say anything. I just turn around and don't look at anybody. And I'm ashamed. But I don't actually have the Shroud of Shame. So it allows you to do some more bluffing and entertaining things that way. Or just to mute. Or you can say, hey guys, I really lucked out here. I got the one chip that's the werewolf. So there's some interesting concepts to that. The other characters, the apprentice seer is interesting. They're just slightly better than a villager. I do like the mystic wolf. The alpha wolf is really powerful, and I would not use that unless you're playing with a larger group of players. The sentinel is an interesting idea, and it certainly helps with the revealer and with the different people who can turn things over. The witch is another cool character that was in original Werewolf that's used a bit. I like having these two mixed together. There's a lot of different roles now. I don't think you should use maybe that many of the special roles when you play the game, but you can use several of them. And this is a game that handles more special roles better than a regular game, if for no other reason than the app clearly tells you what to do. I love that. It's so clear. It gives you plenty of time, and you pick how much time you think people need to do their thing and close their eyes, and you just sit there quietly and wait, and then the accusations start, and people are yelling for the game. So anyway, the app is a must-get, and the app is free, and this is a great addition to this. Mix them together, and you have a ton of fun. One Eye Ultimate Werewolf is a game that I think is one of the best, quick, short, fun party-style games, and I love Werewolf a lot. Ultimate Werewolf is one of my favorite games, and I have like a number, I think 7. If I have more than 7 people, I'm going to play Werewolf. If I have 7 or less, I'm going to play One Night Ultimate Werewolf. Daybreak just makes that more fun. Dice Tower Judgment, into my collection!
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Hörru, stäng dörren!
Du?